All right, we are now joined once again by, from Tel Aviv, by Professor David Enoch, law and philosophy professor at Hebrew U and member of the Israeli Law Professors Forum for Democracy. So let's talk about what is going on with the Attorney General calling this motion a political move, accusing the Prime Minister's government of operating above the law without any checks. What are your thoughts on that assessment?
The government is clearly authorized to remove the Attorney General, but as any student of administrative law knows, it's like pretty much the first thing that you learn when you do administrative law is the distinction between whether you have the authority and how it is that you're supposed to exercise it. And I think that the Attorney General is absolutely right that the way the authority has been exercised here is in grave violation of administrative law norms, including perhaps chiefly a very clear conflict of interests, at least for the Prime Minister and probably for every other member of his cabinet.
So with that said, is there any recourse?
First of all, the process has not been finalized yet. So what we saw today, the government's decision, the cabinet's decision, was really by and large declarative, right? It was this vote expression of no confidence. It's not really a thing legally. Its main purpose, so we think, is to start getting the wheels in motion in what will eventually mature into firing the Attorney General. But that has not happened yet, so that can still be fought. And indeed, a lot of people in the Israeli population have been fighting it. I came back just about an hour ago from very massive demonstrations in Jerusalem. There was another one in Tel Aviv last night that was probably the most impressive one since at least the beginning of the war. So that's one course, the kind of public struggle for democracy continues in this way via the Attorney General's role in maintaining the rule of law. There's also the option of, at some point, petitioning the High Court of Justice, which I very much hope and also think will offer the Attorney General the kind of backup she badly needs and deserves.
Right. With that said, like we said before, it's a process that could take a few months. What would happen to her if they do want to take it to the next level of court? Would she have to leave, or she would maintain the position during that appeal process?
Well, I doubt that it will take months. I'm sure that they will try to work on it more quickly unless something surprising happens. But for now, she still has all of her powers, even according to the Minister of Justice, say, or other cabinet members, because there has not been a decision to fire her. There have been, I mean, the Minister of Justice has published a really weird and unbelievably dishonest statement where he says something like that every person with integrity in her position would now quit her job. But I don't think that even he takes it seriously, and I sure hope that she won't. I suspect that in some cases, she could be facing a kind of situation where she feels that her authority is compromised, even if not officially taken away. But I don't think that's the situation here, because for so many people, especially so many people who are well informed about how the system works and the relevant parts of the law, it is just clear what the game being played is. So, for instance, we already saw voices from within the Attorney General's office, senior people there, expressing their full support of her. So for now, as far as I can see, her authority is not at all compromised, and she's considered by many people, perhaps most people in Israel, as a major hero in this struggle, right. and rightly so, as far as I can see.
Well, and for a woman to break the glass ceiling and to be Attorney General, a big responsibility, and obviously it talks to her competence.
For anyone else, it is a hugely challenging situation, and she's been navigating it, I think, very impressively. Now, it must be said, it's not as if me or other colleagues or other Israelis do not have any criticism of her, including of her in her role as Attorney General. For instance, I think she did a much less impressive job in maintaining the rule of law as constraints on the Israeli military, for instance, in Gaza. So there's still a lot to talk about, obviously. But like many others in the struggle for democracy in Israel today, I think that it is of immense importance to protect her now to the extent that we can as a huge part of the rule of law establishment.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor David Enoch. Much appreciated.
Thank you.